Welcome to Thrive Tucson Business Spotlight, sponsored by Vantage West, where I chat with small business owners and organizations to see what makes their company thrive. I'm your host, Carla Escamilla, and today I'm joined with Kate Mislinski, owner of Cafe Passe. What began as a quaint coffee shop with a cozy back patio, Cafe Passe expanded its grounds last year to introduce Bar Passe, a full-service bar open until 2 o'clock in the morning on the weekends. So welcome to the show, Kate. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. For those that are unfamiliar, can you tell us a little bit about Cafe Passe and what you offer?
Well, Cafe Passe started about 12 years ago. Sabine was the owner, and we became friends along about that time. I was at Brooklyn Pizza and then went on to Fox Restaurants. And after my career there, I just started opening restaurants and buying great concepts and doing my thing with them. So I fell in love with Passe years ago. The back patio, the coffee in the morning and whatnot. There was a really cool record store, a lot of pop-up shops, a real community space. And so my best friends and I said, hey, let's buy it. And here we are. We're 24 months into the project, into the restaurant. And I'm huge into the history of Tucson and whatnot. And what's cool about Cafe Passe is the bones and the bricks and the wood, and it's 100 years old. It was built in 1918. It was a single family. I think it was a two-story single-family house, and they shared a backyard with our neighbor who's still there now. And that's where everybody is in the back, in the garden. And the space just kind of flows. And my idea for the bar was, hey, let's have a long bar and pass in a European kind of feel. It harkens back to my trip to Switzerland when I was 14, and the rule there was if your feet can touch the ground sitting in the stool, you can drink. So somehow, I don't know how I did it. I have long legs or something because I'm pretty short. And I just fell in love with that kind of feel. So I wanted 4 different taps from Europe and 4 of our best, Crooked Tooth. And I think we have Dragoon on tap right now. I'm missing everybody right now, but 1055 and whatnot. So
in your history involved in restaurants, you have a long list of restaurants that you helped open, like Playground, The Hub, Batch. How do you deal with being so busy and being able to concentrate on what it is, Cafe Passe?
Right. I think the big thing is there's different parts in this business, and there's the creative part and there's the operating part, and you have to balance it out. And really, it's my mentors that I learned, Sam Fox, Regan Jasper. I was with them. I was the 5th manager in that company when we had 2 restaurants, and the growth from 2 restaurants to 24, I think I left that with Fox. Went to Time Market, helped Peter with Beeline, Time Market and Wilco at that time. Fell in love with downtown Tucson and whatnot. It's not about how much you work. It's about how much you get done within that and accomplish. And last season I was in charge of 6 restaurants, and it was too much for me. This season I'm only going into 2, and I'm kind of at the tail end of my career where I want to do more of these things where I'm teaching the next generation, because the next generation is already having success. Rollies and Oban.
The new guys in town.
Yeah, all the new guys in town, and they were my servers and back servers of my restaurants in Fox and whatnot.
So tell me a little bit about them and how all these the younger generations that are coming to open these restaurants. What is your advice for them to get them started?
Tucson's going to be going through a full-service restaurant kind of. It's not a negative or a positive thing. It's just a change in the guards, and a lot of the restaurants that are in business now, the millennials don't want to take it over, or the next generation. And so the next generation that do want to be in this business, they have to learn to adapt quicker than I have. I'm actually closing a restaurant I closed a restaurant last week, and it's because I didn't adapt quick enough to the changing market. And I really think quick service and quick service and fast casual, fast food restaurants like EG's and Nico's and that kind of stuff is going to be more manageable, more profitable for the family. A lot of people don't understand that we can't work on negative margins. And when food is too expensive to us, we have to pass that on, and it just doesn't work. The same thing, I don't harp on the labor issues that are gonna happen in the next 5 years. I just kind of fix it now, look internal, and focus on that.
And one of your focus right now is the bar, and you want to make it Tell me about the vibe that you want to bring into Flourish from there.
I think, when you walk into Cafe Passe, it really has 5 parts. And so the cafe is the front part. The cafe closes in the summer at 3 and during the season at 6, but we're going to make it so we have food until 10. So we're going to put bar stools out there, make it a wine bar, the only espresso machine until 10 o'clock every night. So the cafe will run from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. So I'm opening up my revenue centers, and I'm trying to make it a hot period, a whole hot day instead of cold. And then the same thing with the bar, noon, happy hour until 6 o'clock, and then 2 a.m. So people know, is it 11? It's 11:30, say, at night. And people are like, well, they close early, or I don't know, or whatnot.
Yeah.
Let's call them. We don't answer the phone. So it's better just to make it until 2 a.m. There's certain things you learn between 38 projects, 38 opens, and I've closed 4. And you learn with the closes too.
Yes.
Usually with the closes, it should have been done sooner. Just the way it is.
So with your expertise in restaurants and food, your whole entire life with your family background, how do you mix that with being a businessman, being a business owner?
Right, that's the trick. And I think it's the same thing with if you're a graphic designer or a computer engineer or a website designer, being stronger on the business so you don't have to worry about that, or getting bookkeepers involved in everybody, so you can just, because it will consume you. And you're at 90 hours and it just doesn't work. Business just doesn't work that way. The big thing for me is also, I'm focused on the creative side of things, and I have a huge team that helps me operate. I have 80 employees between the 5 restaurants, 72 now, between the 8, and the other 8 are doing great. They're on to new things and whatnot. But I DJ. I'm doing the same things I did 20 years ago. MTV did a special on me about not caring about money and just playing drum and bass and doing that. And I'm doing that. I'm cooking. I'm fathering now. I box. I run. Stress management, I would think, is the big thing to the younger generation. I would say now is whether it's acupuncture or waking up at 5, whenever you can be creative, whenever you have that energy to be creative, make it so you're alone. Or sometimes I like being with my friends, because honestly, most of my ideas are fed off of them.
To get their ideas.
Or guests, yeah. I'm a huge feedback guy, and it's the same thing with like Yelp. I'm good with Yelp. I'd rather people tell me in the restaurant that things that I can fix, because I think I've never not been willing to either comp something or take care of it or address it
or
immediately
change.
or change it or whatever. Adapting is so huge right now, and we went through the roughest summer, and this summer will be documented over the next 10 years.
That's one of the toughest.
There's doctors going out of business, there's bike shops, 20 different restaurants. And then you got a fat noodle who just went from a food truck. Ramon, I've been friends with since he owned Harvest Season. Sorry, Ramon. And I'm so proud of them to get to that. So I want to be positive with them. I'm going through some stuff where I have to shed and reduce my workload in that, but I don't want to be negative, or I don't want people to say, oh, he got burnt out, that's why he's leaving the business.
You're just concentrating your...
Yeah, I think my thing is, I'm involved with PTO with my kids. If they want to be in the business, that's fine. I'm not that kind of thing, but I want to get to the beach. I've done 25 years of restaurants in Tucson. I want to do 9 months here. And I'm officially a snowbird. I'm a snowbird business owner. So May, June, July, and August, I'll be out of town working on other stuff. But the thing between Hawaii that I want to eventually move to and Tucson is there's a sustainability focus that both places are doing.
Okay.
The U of A, Jenny, my better half, is in the sustainable living environments, and they're working on tilapia farms. I want to work on shrimp farms in Tucson, where we take these warehouses that can't be rented, and we put in cement tubs, and then we have a sustainability kind of thing. So, I'm not a farm to fork guy. I'm more of just a kind of eat everything,
You're just looking to see where else you can expand.
Yeah, people were like, what's your favorite restaurant? I'm like, well, EG's is the most successful. You look at it, they got 40 locations, they got a dessert, they got a great sandwich, they got fries. They're Tucson. Same thing with Lucky Wishbone and Nico's, 3 most successful restaurants in Tucson. At the same time, my own alma mater, Culinary Dropout, and what Sam is doing around the world and whatnot, I'm so proud of them. It's just that, I don't know. I'm kind of slowing down. I think I'm slowing down and focusing, and having 2 projects, I can take all those ideas. Like at Passe, we're working on a whole new food menu. We're adding a whole new station in the kitchen, so I'll be able to do 16 more items. And the big thing for us there is getting the food out quicker. So, we just have more people in per hour.
So let's talk about Tucson and how the community in Tucson is important for you and for your restaurant and bar.
Right. Well, there's different communities. I mean, there's the guests and my friends, and then every restaurant person, we know 500 restaurant people. It's one, especially when we go to Restaurant Depot and we're all chatting. I have a lot of my mentors are mom and pop restaurants. Everyone, when I came from Fox and opened Hub and stuff, people thought I was really fancy. But really, I want a daily restaurant. I want people to be able to afford it and come every day and be super useful. Kind of like neighborhood restaurants like in Chicago or New York or San Francisco or whatnot. So I forgot the question you asked, but what was it?
How do you involve with the community?
Well, that's a good, one of my mentors passed away was Pat Connors from Pastiche, and he was such a giving person. And so I'm working with Youth on Their Own, working with Emerge, we're doing a program called Burger Up at Besties at my other restaurant, where guests can buy a piece of fish or burgers, take an emoji and put it on the wall, and when someone's hungry, they can just take the emoji off the wall. And it's an idea I got from a pizza place in Philadelphia on CNN. They used Post-it notes, and he has 100,000 Post-it notes. So he has like 100,000 pieces of pizza already paid for.
Wow.
So, and people come in and they respect the program and whatnot. So there's a little of that, but I'm in the community in the sense of we're such a safe place for everybody. And a lot of different movements and activists and comedians and poets and writers. We just have a lot of Tucson famous people come in there. And the big thing they say is, Passe is kind of, for me it means laissez-faire. And Café Passe was a name of a bar in Germany. It's not even supposed to be French. I'm adding more French and Italian, more European, more Spanish food, maybe even some Moroccan and some Greek food. Because I really want the people that visit Tucson, I want them to have a connection home. And so we did World Cup, and we're going to be doing rugby. We're doing a thing called Pilot Mondays or Tuesdays, or Sunday, I don't know what day it is. But we run the first episode of all these binge-worthy TV shows, but from the 50s and 60s or in the 80s. So like Airwolf and A-Team, the first Flintstones? Yeah, Flintstones and that, or Pac-Man, whatever. Whatever. So my team fuels my creativity with that. I have some great people working for me at Passe and at Besties.
And how long have you been with Passe?
We've been there 24 months.
24 months.
I'm in my 24th month. We have, and it looks, I have a great relationship with the landlord, and he's a great guy.
So we talked about the advice that you have giving the newcomers and how they want to start a new restaurant, but in general, as a business owner, let's talk about business. What would be your number one most important advice that you can give to somebody that wants to open up a business?
Surround yourself with good, hardworking people that lift you up, and ask for help quicker than you think. And, I'm in class at eCornell. eCornell is one of the stronger hotel and restaurant management. And I use Harvard Business Review. I'm constantly trying to work on that side of it. And that's what LinkedIn is for me. So as much as I'm on Instagram saying, hey, what's up? This new sandwich, that kind of stuff. And hey, we got this band from Philadelphia in town. It's a free show on a Tuesday. LinkedIn is to that side of it. And that's where I speak to younger people and do these kind of interviews and that stuff. I really want to bring, like when we were in school, there was a home economics class, or there was it was a kitchen class, but it wasn't really, it was like homemaking. It wasn't, I think we're ready in TUSD or in Tucson for that business side of it. How do you get your name registered with the state? Same questions that a lot of people ask me every day, like, who do I use to fix the ice machine? There's a network in the community for that that can save you a lot of money and keep you in business. But I think the big thing is what I'm really enjoying at Passe is interacting with the guests and having time to find out what they want You know, especially at Besties, it's like we're trying to be Long John Silver's meets White Castle. And I'm getting more hugs and more 5-star reviews on that. And I really think that's the emotional connection to our childhood. And the same thing with Passe, it just kind of flows. When people walk out for the first time to Passe in the garden, it's always like, whoa, I had no idea this was here.
This existed, yeah.
So that's on me, you know what I mean? Like, I want to keep it, like, I want to say secret bar, you know, really loud with an arrow. But that's my job on the marketing side.
And that's what makes it unique, to be that secret bar.
Yeah, I'm actually going to put a sign up that says secret bar in the main thing. But
well, thank you so much for being here. Congratulations. Keep doing what you love, because obviously is your passion, and we wish you the very best.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah. And if you want to stop by Café Passe and Bar Passe at 415 North 4th Avenue to find out who will be appearing at Café Passe and other events, find them on Facebook at Passe on 4th. This has been Business Spotlight with Carla Escamilla. See you next time.